GAAMHA is comprised of 4 branches: developmental services, substance use disorder services, transit, and social enterprise. Under developmental services, we have our community-based day program known as STREAM, as well as our vocational track program. Our substance use disorder services have many tiers of programs. They include residential treatment, transitional supportive housing for men and women, permanent supportive housing for men and women, and sober supportive living at our new facility, the Carl E. Dahl House at Cass Farm. GAAMHA Transit provides door-to-door transportation for individuals of all ages. This includes human services day program transportation, as well as non-emergency medical transportation. Lastly, our social enterprise endeavors aim to provide employment opportunities to people in all of our programs, as well as other people in the community who encounter barriers to employment. Coleman Assembly and Packaging is our largest example of this, as it provides assembly and packaging services to manufacturers throughout New England. I think traditionally, the way we design social service programs is we try to create a program or a modality that would address the largest number of people. But sometimes in the interest of efficiency, we can sacrifice effectiveness. When we really change our focus to include the individual's goals and interests, now we're making real, lasting, impactful change in a person's life.
Day Services is a program made for adults with developmental and intellectual disabilities. We help offer meaningful life activities, community involvement, person-centered planning, just really a chance to get them out of the house, socializing with their peers, as well as into the community and society. Everybody has an ISP, so it's an individualized support plan where there's goals invented if it's for their employment or if it's just socialization skills or so on. We really try to personalize that down to each individual's specific needs and wants.
STREAM is that social recreational component of our community-based day programming, and STREAM stands for Success Through Relationships, Employment, and Meaningful Activities. We have 2 sites that kind of deliver that programming. There's one here in Gardner and another in Orange, Massachusetts, a little bit west of here, so that we're able to serve the North County area as well as the North Quabbin region of the state.
That's really where we offer our in-house supports. Most individuals come about 30 hours a week, and we'll do a combination of in-house activities as well as volunteering in the community and recreational in the community. We work on basic skills. It could be meaningful life skills or social skills, money management, time management, basic reading, writing. VTP is our vocational track programming. VTP really focuses on the nitty-gritty of employment, on-the-job training skills, how to fill out an application. So it's really on-the-job training skills focused for, or in combination with our group supported employment, as well as our job development with independent employment. Me personally, I love seeing the success in our individuals. It's nice to be greeted by a good morning and a smile and being able to help move them further into the future and have them have a better life and more meaningful life experiences.
GAAMHA has been providing substance use disorder services since 1972. Our first program in that realm is a program called the Pathway House. Other recovery centers do. They sort of teach recovery theory, and then they send you home. We teach people how to live in recovery. It's a tall task, but our approach to doing it in sort of a real-world environment with support tends to lead to really positive outcomes over the long term.
I've been here for about 20 years. Came out here as a client and graduated the program. Every client's different, in a sense where the individualized treatment plans. What's good for one might not be good for another. So we try to look for the avenue, what's gonna work for this guy, what's gonna work for this guy.
My experience at Pathway was great. At first, I was extremely nervous, but I'm glad that I took the suggestions and really listened to what they were saying and take it as they were just trying to help me. It's changed my life for the better, that I've gone through that program for sure.
To put it the simplest way I can is I needed to relearn how to live and be taught how to be a decent human being again. And that was the majority of my experience there, was them kind of, helping me get a job, helping me work on myself, helping me rebuild my life. The counselors and everybody there, they genuinely care, and you can feel that the minute you get into the house. They're not pushovers by any means. They'll tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, and you can just tell that they genuinely care.
I think what works best is get into treatment. you're not going to realize how good it is for you until you do it.
All of our houses have case managers on site. Individuals who live in our supportive housing sites have individual treatment plans. Again, person-centered planning and person-centered goals. It allows people who are leaving residential treatment to go through a transitional phase to ease them back toward independent living.
Most of the people we have in our programs, they've been using for a long time. So if somebody uses for 2, 3, 5 years, they're not going to get everything back overnight. And that's the great thing about this program because it's set up as a 2-year program. The main focus is for them to maintain their recovery. So whatever I can do as far as connecting them to services or coordinating anything really, just to help them, that's what we do.
So I actually just came up on my 3 months over here. Life is great today, really is. Huge difference. You know, it's a lot of like the smaller things that I'm focusing on now too is what really helps. Staying in contact with my family, speaking to my friends, speaking to staff if need be. That's all type of stuff that really helps me to stay sober.
The ultimate goal is to get them into their own apartment. So while they're here, we try to prepare them the best we can in order for them to be successful when they do move out.
I have a lot of goals. I'd like to pay off my debts. I'd like to, maintain my job. Obviously stay sober, first and foremost. And as long as I do that, then any goal I set after that is, reachable.
There are environments that are going to be more and less conducive to helping someone work through their recovery journey. We are presenting an environment that is cared for, that is respected. People can then reside in it throughout their sober journey.
I think it's a great experience so far. It's definitely a place I feel safe where I can stay sober. I've only been here 2 months, but I'm already seeing these women grow. It's pretty amazing to be a witness to that, It's pretty low key, actually, very laid back. There's that common ground of picking the pieces back up in your life and trying to reach your goals. We're all different, so that common thread brings us together,
Whatever transition plan we work out together, and we figure out what their goals are. What are your goals for the next 3 months? What are your goals for the next 2 years? And how can we get you there? The more time you have that you have made change, but also maintained change, the more likely you are to succeed and maintain your sobriety as you transition.
That was probably the best move I made when I got here. I had a sponsor a week after I got here. And it was because I felt comfortable enough to approach these people. It's pretty amazing to me. This is definitely where I need to be.
Last year, we undertook a really exciting project where for the first time we offered permanent supportive housing. We bought and renovated a historical building in downtown Gardner and converted it to create 12 individual apartments for people to live in indefinitely. But ultimately, we want people leaving permanent supportive housing to stable, individual, independent living.
It is basically like having your own apartment, you pay rent, and then you also have case management services attached to it. You work with a case manager, you work on a treatment plan, you work on goals. It's also very unique in that the 12 apartments are in a building owned by GAAMHA, but there's also a peer recovery center that's located on the main floor that's open every evening that you're able to go and attend different kinds of recovery support meetings.
It was great. I love the accountability. I had case management there. They help you with things, like they'll set goals when you move in, what would you like to accomplish. It's really for someone that, has recovery, wants to continue their recovery, but they still need that little extra help.
Going into the supportive housing, it was always a goal to move out on my own. I still wanted that sober living, that sober environment, to know that I was living in a place where I'm not going to run into certain things, and I still have a case manager, and it really just felt like the best move for me.
The biggest requirement of living at this program is that you're substance-free, that you're working on your recovery. But we very much work with the individual. It's not my decision what that person's recovery looks like. It's their decision what it looks like.
Everything's about balance. You have to balance everything. I think even people without addiction, you got to balance your meetings, your recovery, your family. And I was able to do that while I was there. So now, you know, I have my support set up, I have my meetings set up, everything set up when I came here. And I felt like I was in a good place.
I feel like for a drug addict like myself in recovery, there couldn't have been a better program laid out like this, like the pathway and then the supportive housing and then the permanent sober housing. It's just, for myself, it just seems like the best thing for me.
GAAMHA, the parent corporation, addressed the need for a different form of therapeutic recovery. So we have the Dahl House at Cass Farm. It's single room occupancy. We do have one double. It's unlike traditional treatment in that it's not in a facility. It offers individuals who come here the opportunity to get out into the country and into nature itself.
Growing up in Seattle, I used to always think that the Northwest is the most beautiful part of the country, but being out here, it's just really peaceful. Being outside the city and resetting was really great for me. It's just in a great location to kind of get back to just doing simple things, I guess. Animals don't hold prejudices. It sounds crazy, but I would just go out there and talk to them and just hang out with them. Animals they give you like unconditional love, I guess.
The animals on the farm really, they possess the magic. The bond between animal and man is incredible. There's a healing power to it. You know, just brushing a horse down, you're gonna get that sense of connectedness to that animal. One really great thing about this program is we do have an on-site clinician on a daily basis. That makes us a little bit unique in that if an individual didn't have therapeutic treatments off-site, we can take care of those needs on-site.
I know in the past there have been many a times where I was having issues with drugs and I'd go back to it, and this is the only time that I was like actively seeking help. So if you have the ability to go to a place like this, just go to it. You just have to invest in like the recovery in yourself.
We're here to immerse ourselves in the world of recovery, reestablishing healthy contacts with the healthy community. Recovery is a daily process, but the hope is to lay down the foundation that, you know, you can get out of bed every day and show up for what the world has to offer.
GAAMHA Transportation offers a variety of transportation services, whether it be for an individual with a developmental disability for day services, to a senior who needs to get to a medical appointment or to the grocery store. We are at approximately 30 vehicles right now with a combination of minivans, regular ambulatory vehicles, as well as wheelchair vehicles. We have a full-time auto technician on staff that does the preventative maintenance, oil changes, brakes, make sure that our vehicles stay in good operating condition. We provide transportation in our surrounding towns, so we go out as far as Athol, Leominster, Fitchburg. It could be a medical appointment in Boston. It could just be right to the local Walmart here in Gardner. We offer a variety of services because there's so many different needs within the community.
Coleman Assembly and Packaging is a for-profit corporation that GAAMHA owns, that we operate as a social enterprise. And by that we mean it's a for-profit corporation where we consider part of its margin to be social impact. And for us, that comes in the form of employment opportunities for people who have traditional barriers to employment. The biggest population that falls into that category for us are people in recovery from substance use disorders. We also work to help veterans returning from service, the long-term unemployed, people in the community who just had a tough go of it and need help finding a job to get back on their feet. Coleman's able to do that for them.
Coleman Assembly and Packaging, we do light assembly for our customers. Sometimes we do automotive parts, we do light cardboard folding, we do kitting, we do non-sterile clean room assembly. We do whatever our customer asks of us. We are essentially extra labor for them. We provide employment for people going through GAAMHA's Pathway program. We provide employment for anybody that's struggling, that needs a job and needs a paycheck and is willing to put in a hard day's work. This place provides a sober, clean environment for people that are going through recovery. I think it provides purpose in these employees' lives to get a paycheck, to put in a hard day's work.
Coleman and GAAMHA are very much, intertwined and interdependent, and they both serve the same mission, just in different ways of doing it. And the profits from that effort can help support our nonprofit mission.
Our employees are really hard workers. They show up on time. They do what is asked of them. They do it accurately. And I hope that when they leave here, they're proud of what they've done and the product they've put out and the hard day's work that they've put in.